Hey guys, another Lincoln Chronicle here. So today we're going to go ahead and do lowering springs on the Lincoln. We're going to do the front end, a 2-inch lowering spring. What I've been doing so far today is I've gone ahead and jacked up the car, got the wheels off, and I'll show you here. These are the springs and the shocks for the front end, and then I've got leaf springs for the rear end. So let's talk about what has to come apart and how things need to look to get the car ready. So this is the side that I haven't taken apart. So a couple things, let me see, we'll point at. First of all, there's a bracket up here for the shock absorber. So there's a nut on this end that needs to come off. And then this bracket, there's a bolt on the top of this bracket that needs to come out. And then this bracket comes out and the shock absorber is loose at the top. 2 bolts at the bottom. Let's see if we can find them. Yep, there's a shock absorber on the bottom. 2 bolts need to come up. Shock absorber drops down. Then the next thing to do is the drag link and the stabilizer bar. So I'm trying to do 2 things at once, right? So stabilizer, the linkage needs to come out, and then the drag link, there's 2 bolts. And if you remember my other video, I took those out. Actually replaced all those. That was on a different video. And then the next thing that needs to come off to get out of the way, oops, and that didn't work, is the caliper. So the caliper has 2 bolts on the back side. It's hard to see. And 2 bolts on the back side. So there's a bolt right here. And then bolt lower. Okay, so that's the whole assembly together. What we need to do is get the spring out. And that's where I'm at with this side. Around it. Okay. So on this side of the car, what do we have? We have the caliper up and out of the way. We have, let me hang this up. There we go. Okay. And then we have the, this is crappy, the stabilizer bar. That's the linkage where my finger is. The drag link is loose. Okay. And then what I've done is I took the nut on the lower ball joint. I loosened it, okay? And I only had to hit it like 3 times with a hammer. I mean, not really that hard, and it dropped. So you loosen it, so there's a little bit of gap in it. You hit it, it loosens it, the lower arm drops. That means the lower arm's ready to come off. The final thing to do is to compress that spring. So it's very hard to see in there because it's tight. But what I've done is I've used this spring compressor here. Okay, so when you rent it at the store, there's a set of hooks that are up on the top of the coils, and then this fork is on the bottom of the coils. And it's all kind of in there where the shock absorber used to be. It's all in there, nice and tight, and you can kind of see parts of it in there. You see the fork on the bottom here, and then you can see the springs on the top. And I've tightened that thing as far as it goes. If you'll notice, it's not that compressed, and it was hard to get the forks in because the distance between the coils isn't that much. So, what are we going to do? We're going to see if I kill myself. How about that? We'll drop it. We're going to loosen the nut off the end of the ball joint, and then we'll drop it. Oops. We'll see what happens. So, taking the nut off of the top of the ball joint. It's already loose. Remember, I loosened it 2 or 3 turns, and then hit it with a hammer so that it's ready to come off. And then kind of see how far down this goes. And it may shoot out. I don't know what it's going to be. It's kind of goofy. It's coming down, but it's compressed. So there's the arm down. And it's loose. I just need to get out of the way. It's probably going to take a little bit of manhandling to get it out. The dangerous thing, obviously, is that it's compressed in here, and you don't want to get hurt if it uncompresses for some reason. So there she is, and it's heavy, and I don't want the fork to come out. I don't want the hooks to come out or anything else. It's just dangerous, nothing terrible. There it is. Okay, so see how it's kind of goofy in there? The fork is kind of in the middle. The hooks are not at the top. I mean, it's just, you don't have much room to get in there. So what do I do next? First of all, I noticed that my isolators are crappy, so I might have to buy new ones. But I should be able to just take these springs, kind of in the same spot, take one of the springs, compress it, put it back in, and then it's the reverse. Jack it up, jack it up, put the ball joint back on, drag link back on, stabilizer bar on, the caliper back on, shock absorber in. That should be it. So we'll see how it goes. I will continue doing this, and I'll do another update video when we get closer to finishing. All right, guys? Thanks.